United in Christ has been associated with the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. And according to the Jewish Telegraphic Agency, the Southern Poverty Law Center has designated as a hate group, something that we hope to clear up today. Today we have our company hype analyst, Pierre, calling to the show, along with very special guest, Kiana Dancy, as well as the founder of the Israel United in Christ, Bishop Nathaniel. But before we dive into today's conversation, let's take a look at this clip.
Hey, Kyrie. There was a group of about 100 people outside wearing the shirt of a group called Israel United in Christ.
King Christ! Move the King Christ!
A group labeled as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They were outside in support of you and handing out anti-Semitic literature on the plaza, people walking by.
I think that's a conversation for another day. I'm just here to focus on the game.
Kyrie, but you've said this whole time that you didn't know what kind of what kind of voice you had.
This gospel is ready. You cannot contain the truth of the Bible.
If these are the people that are out here in your name, do you feel like that's a consequence of what you've done?
Again, I'm just here to focus on the game.
Now, first, I want to start off. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bishop Nathaniel. I think this is a conversation that's needed. So let's just start from the top here. So in the clip that we saw, we saw a group, specifically the Israel United in Christ group, marching and chanting in support of Kyrie Irving. So I'd like to know, were you actually there at the march, and what was your involvement in that?
I was there at the march. We were there standing for the word of the Most High. Kyrie Irving, we've never met him. He's not a part of us. However, he has the right to examine and explore his roots. And this is what we teach, that Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians in this country are indeed part of the 12 tribes of Israel recorded in the Holy Bible. So he has the right to say he's Semitic. He is Semitic. We are a Semitic people. It's disingenuous to say that he doesn't have the right to explore his roots, to examine, or even state that he's Semitic.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask, in that same clip, we hear different reporters, and I think it was about 3 different reporters that continue to ask him about, you all supporting him, and of course he will respond in the way that we've seen in the clip. What's your reaction to that, or your thoughts on the way that Kyrie responded when asking about you all, supporting him?
I think he responded correctly. They seek to destroy Black men and Black women that stand up for any type of solidarity. That's their goal. Just like J. Edgar Hoover said, the worst thing to the United States of America is Negro unity. Anytime Black men and Black women come together, even talking about family unity, it's called hate speech. It's anti-Semitic. And any star that stands with us, their job is to destroy them from within and without. That's their job. And another thing, when you read Psalms 94:16, God asked a question. He says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? This is why in the music industry, they push recently sodomy. What's that rap Glorilla did? Bouncing at the abortion clinic. They push murder, debauchery in the Black community, and they get paid lovely. But our people, we talk for righteousness, good qualities, family unity, hate speech. No, that's not right. That's what they do. That's their job.
Now, let me ask this question, because also not only just the reporter, but of course we see reports, and as I mentioned earlier, it's been labeled, Israel United in Christ has been labeled as a hate group. How do you respond to that? Do you think it's the language, that people see online from different people that are considered to be in the Israel United in Christ? Do you think that contributes to it, or why do you think, people look at you as a hate group?
Their agenda is to destroy the Black community. Just like J. Edgar Hoover, like I said, he made a famous statement. The worst thing to the United States of America is Negro unity. When you read John 13:34, Christ said, a new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. When that's taught throughout the Black community, again, it's called hate speech. They even put out lies that we murdered people in New Jersey. That's all slanderous. And guess what? Many people believe that. Oh, they murdered people. I would have been in jail if I murdered somebody in New Jersey. Are you kidding me? Okay. And guess what? I got film footage of the FBI and the NYPD saying it was not the Israelites. We know it was a Muslim group that murdered those people in Jersey. I'm just going to wait till the court come out. I'm going to wait.
Now, I love your comment on something else, because as you mentioned, people being labeled as certain things, your group being labeled as a hate group. We heard Kyrie being labeled as anti-Semitic, but also Dave Chappelle, he did a monologue on SNL, and then after that monologue, he was also labeled as saying some anti-Semitic things. So I'd love to get your comment. One, did you see the monologue? And if so, what was your reaction to it?
Well, I did see it. Dave Chappelle is brilliant, and I'll say this. We have to get a working definition of anti-Semitic. The word anti means against. Shemitic refers to the sons of Shem. There are 26 sons of Shem, which includes Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. We are Shemitic. It also includes Arabs. They are Shemitic. It also includes Chinese and Japanese and East Indians. They are Shemitic. Those are lying, debauchery organizations. That's what they do. Lie. They even went online and updated and changed the definition to mean anti-Jewish person. That's not what the word Jew is not found in Shemitic. It's not there, but they make it up. And whatever white folks say, we run with it. Stop doing it.
Now, let me ask that question. With the work that you mentioned, it may be work that a lot of people just don't see. Do you think the Black Hebrew Israelites get a bad rap? And if so, why do you think that is?
Well, one of the things is the statement you just made, Black Hebrew Israelites. Remember during the time of Malcolm, they would not call them Muslims. They said they're Black Muslims.
Right.
What does that insinuate? You're fake, you're a fraud. And many of our people run with the narratives of the Jewish media. You're the Black Hebrew Israelites. But we consist of Native American Indians and Latinos. How are we just Black? But that's the narrative they put out there, like Black identity extremists that Karen Bass went against the FBI on our behalf for. Okay, so we got to stop that. We got to definitely learn to love and respect one another as a people. We're the Israelites. That's who we are. That's who we be.
Here's a question I got for you real quick. I'm sorry, but let me ask you real quick. What is the better energy? I don't know if it's the right word. Should we push positivity to Blacks to raise themselves up or fight anti-hate? We have so much energy. Should we be pushing more positive? Black people come together more than worry about the Jewish people hating us, or put the hate of Jewish and not as much? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of energy.
That's a great question, Pierre.
Well, the best. I'm gonna go to Ephesians 4. I'm gonna let the Lord speak on my behalf. When you read the book of Ephesians chapter 4, there's a word that's used that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And it says this, Ephesians 4:3, it says, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. As a race, we've never seen unity, only disunity. What they do, they over-dramatize things to exacerbate a situation that is we're there for Black love, Black unity, our people coming together, and they take it, oh, you want to kill me? Stop it, get out of here.
So what can y'all do? How is it something we can, so the image is not that? How do you change the image?
I'll give an example of Black Wall Street. When they said, why don't you go do your own thing? And our people did. What did they do to us?
Burn it down.
Burned it down. They have a perpetual hatred. This is what we got to understand.
Right.
And the Bible's not talking about one white guy that does something nice for you or me.
Right.
As a collective, they despise us as a race. They want to bring us back. Remember, slavery was started by the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Nicholas V in 1441.
Watch out now.
All the way up to today.
Now, let me put this question in here, Bishop Nathaniel, because I think there are a lot of people that, as Kiana mentioned, that may not know or may not have the information and, may not be familiar. Maybe this is their first time, hearing about the Israel United in Christ. If you had to put it in the lamest terms for someone to understand, what would you say is the overall message? As the founder of Israel United in Christ, what is the overall message that you all are looking to push?
The overall message is that we came to America as slaves in various other lands because we broke God's commandments. The Lord had sent Christ, the Black Messiah, according to Revelation chapter 1, verse 14 and 15, to die for us. He's a Black man. It describes his hair, his skin color. Christians read that and go, no. Although they're reading, his hair was like wool, his feet like it burned in a furnace. They've been preconditioned to hate, despise the way we look. But the message is redemption is coming.
So it brings the question, Pierre, I actually want to start with you. Being that America it doesn't seem to have been created or isn't a place that is well for Black people, why do you think we continue to stay, live here, build business here, as opposed to leaving and going somewhere else or creating our own?
Well, the creating our own makes more sense. We are. I know people go whatever. We are removed from slavery, feeling inside of us like the real slave. You were born in Chicago, you live in the house and all that. You're not a slave from back then. So our mentality is not connected like slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like that. We may have a different kind of way of thinking of slaves. We're entrenched here, and why should I leave? No, you should treat me better, or like you said, which I believe in more, we should come together. Hello, people, come together and support, build homes and stuff that makes Black communities, do more of that kind of stuff. But I'm not leaving. I done made, man. I got a Mercedes here, man. I ain't leaving. You crazy? I know, man. I ain't driving that thing to Africa. And I've been to Africa. Let me be honest with you. Them Africans ain't too happy to feel like you think they are. They seen the bullshit we going through and how we think and stuff. We don't think like Africans like they do. So that ain't happening. So
Kiana, let me bring you in and propose that same question to you. Why do you think, we continue to stay and build and live here as opposed to leaving? Or, why don't we take the time to, or not that we don't, but why do you feel like we don't see us creating our own? And I'll bring an example, with Kyrie Irving, what we're seeing, as soon as he spoke out about something, he was criticized for it, or Dave Chappelle, and I can name others, or why don't we create our own?
First of all, where are we going to go? Second of all, we're not, and the reason I'm saying that is because, if we were to pick up and go to Africa, first of all, the infrastructure is not even there to sustain us getting there. There are people who don't even have Zelle or PayPal or Cash App or the financial infrastructure in Africa. I'm not saying that it cannot be. I am saying that it's almost like there's not even regular power grids there. There's not even, and the reason I know this is because when I was going to move to Africa, in my contract, I had to make sure that I would have a generator. I would have this. I would have that. And so there are certain things that we have become accustomed to that they do not have. There's not a water filtration system there that can sustain. There are people who drink out of the sewer and are okay with. They're not okay with it, but that is their life. So here's what I will tell you. But I'm not opposed to going anywhere. What I am saying is we can't get ourselves together with all the amenities, with all the infrastructures, with all the quote unquote freedoms. We can't get ourselves together here. We're not united, not in the body, not in our spirit. We're not united in our mind. Our neighbors, we're supposed to be able to, love our neighbors as we love our family. But guess what? That is my enemy. We don't support each other. Our families we can't rely on each other. So my thing is that we pick up and go to Africa, and then what? Because first of all, we don't even understand the value of family the way that they value family there. The infrastructure of the family. I'm not saying it don't happen, but I am saying over there, the father does not abandon the wife, and the father doesn't. He makes sure.
Watch out now.
You got single women who are now driving CDL trucks because where's the husband? But the men around here wearing purses. So it's a whole lot more things that is going to come into play. Okay, we're going to pack up and build a country or build an island somewhere. We're going to argue over who's going to be the mayor, the president, the governor, who's going to be the leader. Girl, I'm staying right here, and I'm going to make my life the best that I can make it right here. But what I will tell you, that until we fully understand the issues that we have in our community, we're going to go over there and have the same issue.
Bishop Nathaniel, let me bring you in. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Why do you think we continue to stay here in America? Being the experience that we've had instead of either A, leaving, or two, creating our own infrastructure.
Come on, Bishop.
So several reasons. When you read Deuteronomy 28:48, I want you to listen very good to this. This is one of the curses that fell on us as a people. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, meaning your enemies will control the food industry, and in thirst, meaning your enemies will control the water industry, and in nakedness, meaning your enemies will control the clothing industry, and in want of all things. Your enemies will control medicine, science, education, religion, everything. Then it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. we're the only race that have yokes of iron on our neck and are mentally destroyed now. Because we're
That
proud to say we don't have yokes of iron no more, but we're mentally destroyed. We are destroyed mentally. And everything the sister said about our mentality, we take it over to Africa and destroy everything. Because we're not African right here. We must learn to love one another, keeping God's commandments here. And then we can move out. But guess what? America's reach is long. America influences Africa like you wouldn't believe. I'll give an example. Africa is the richest continent on the planet in terms of gold, diamonds, silver, bauxite. But they're also the poorest because America and the EU says your money's of no value. Well, to steal your gold, steal your resources. Oh, and did I mention your dollar's no value? No, have a nice day. And they end up poor. That's what happens. So there's no place we can go America's reach can't reach.
Right. And not only that, the fact is when you start destroying people mentally, you have, and they have destroyed Africans. And I'm not saying that they're not proud Africans. I'm not saying that, but they have allowed the Chinese to come in and build an infrastructure in our land. They take all of our resources and leave our people poor. Now, I don't know the answer. I don't know if we rise up and go to war. I don't know if we just say stop and don't come. I don't know the answers, but I am telling you the problem. So we need to gather as a people because we're very innovative, we're very smart, and we've been able to do a lot of things, but set ourselves free.